What is up, Collide? I have a question for you. Have you ever hurt yourself? See, when I was your age, I hurt myself a lot. I did parkour and Ninja Warrior, kind of like the TV show, and it didn't always make the smartest choices. I used to jump off of buildings, and I did flips, and I fell a lot, sprained my ankles. And well, when I was younger, I didn't really think anything of it until I started to get older. Now my body hurts. When I wake up in the morning, my joints crack and my ankles hurt. And now I have to go to the chiropractor and physical therapy just so I can start to feel a little bit better. See, my one friend, he even hurt his back just by doing a squat. See, getting older is no fun. And okay, maybe not everyone feels that way, right? Some people probably are older than me and they feel a lot better than I do. But I realize that getting older, it kind of stinks. And at the same time, I bet the opposite is true for some of you. I bet some of you wish you were just a little bit older. Not like wrinkly old and gray hair old, but maybe old enough to drive a car, to go places without having your mom and dad supervise, or old enough to make some of your own decisions. But see, being old, it's not always easy. But I think about the best parts of being young. You don't always have to pay bills, and you don't have to worry about taxes, or you don't have to worry about getting a job. Being young has its perks. And maybe you're not buying that. Maybe you feel like when it comes to being young, the negatives outweigh the positives. And I get it. Here's a secret. I actually used to be in middle school once. And yes, sometimes being your age is frustrating. Sometimes you feel a little powerless, and sometimes you feel like no one really takes you seriously. I remember this one time when I was younger, I really wanted to go skydiving. And so I found a place that would actually let me go as long as my parents were there and they signed off on it. But unfortunately, my parents, they wouldn't let me do that. Have you ever been there? Have you ever wanted to be older? Maybe you feel like your life really hasn't even begun yet. Today, I want to challenge you to think a little differently about being young. Like maybe how being young doesn't mean that you can't make a difference or do incredible things. Let's look at a letter that Paul, an apostle of Jesus, wrote to Timothy, a young leader in the church. Timothy wasn't an old man, he was young. And Paul chose him to lead the church in Ephesus after mentoring him and helping him grow in his faith. We have two letters from Paul to Timothy in the Bible called 1st and 2nd Timothy. So see, historians think these were written near the end of Paul's life. Imagine you getting an urgent letter from an important mentor, possibly their last words. You'd pay attention, right? These were Paul's final words to a young leader, and they were critical. Listen to what Paul desperately wanted Timothy to know and understand. So let's look at 1 Timothy 4:12 together. Here's what it says. Don't let anyone look down on you because you are young, but set an example for believers in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, and in purity. See, Paul is encouraging Timothy to lead. This was a big deal because as a leader, Timothy would have to supervise other leaders in the church who were older and even more experienced. Some of these leaders probably weren't thrilled about being led by a young guy like Timothy. Maybe that's why Paul told Timothy not to worry or let anyone give him a hard time for being young. Paul needed Timothy to believe that he could lead and make a difference right then and there. It's almost like Paul was saying, hey, Timothy, I believe in you, and you should believe in you too. And Paul's words worked. Timothy listened. He didn't let being young keep him from leading and making a big difference. So Paul's words to Timothy are for you too. Don't let anyone look down on you because you're young. You can make a difference for God right now, but you must first believe it. If you think you can't because of your age, you can. Paul and myself and God all say so. How you see yourself affects how others will see you. If you want to be seen as a leader and a world changer, start seeing yourself that way. Even if someone says, you're just a kid, don't be discouraged. Embrace what God is calling you to do now. Believe in yourself because God believed in you first. There's a really cool story of a girl named Abigail Loopy. See, when Abigail was just 10 years old, she went to visit her grandmother in a nursing home, and she became aware of the silent struggle of loneliness many nursing home residents faced. To support and comfort these residents, she founded an organization called Care Girls. And see, this Care Girls organization helps nursing home patients in New Jersey feel loved and less alone by matching them with a young volunteer. See, you can make a difference just like Abigail did. The age you are now is exactly the age you need to be used by God. You don't have to wait until you're older to make a difference. You can accomplish big things right now. There are probably small things God is asking you to do as well, like befriending someone at school who needs it, stepping in when you see bullying happen, or talking to somebody about Jesus. These might seem small, but God can make a big difference. So go for it. If you want to make a difference, believe that you can. Stop making excuses. Look at the people God has placed in your life, those who love you and can help you make a difference. See, Timothy had Paul. Who do you have? It might be a parent, a coach, or a small group leader. Choose at least one person who can guide you and help you start making a difference now. Remember, there is no age qualification for making a difference. You don't have to be older, smarter, wiser to step into what God has for you. You don't need to have it all together. He wants you to do something really significant now. He has a story to tell with your life. As you head to groups, think about this question. If you could do one thing to change the world, what would it be? Collide, it's been great hanging with you, and we'll see you next week.